mute now everyone, because then we have a little bit more.
Yes. Everyone is down. So muted. Tom, you too.
Oh no.
Okay, so everyone from the office team, you can demute yourself. And this is not because we don't want to hear your voices, but because we are a lot of voices from a lot of places in the world. So this is a little bit more easier for us. We are just now waiting for some people to join. We're nearly 60 people from all over the world. Italy, Sydney, Kuwait. This is really awesome. This is the first time for us. If you haven't done it already, please enter your country code, because not your country code, but your language in your name. I see some of you didn't have it. This is later for us important for us, because we can answer your questions better, and we have a little bit record rooms. So if you're from Spain or Latin America, please write ES, like Espanol, English EN, and Italy IT. So Ruth, I see you. You can write English like for this example. And now we are waiting just only 2 minutes more for everyone to join. Hello, Angelo. Nice to see you. Oh, it's nice to see you.
Everybody, you can click on the gallery view in the upper right corner, and then you see all the little pictures of yourself. This is really funny. I found it out like 1 hour after my first Zoom conversation.
Oh.
Irene, how are you? Oh, you're muted, sorry.
So forgive us, please, if there are some hiccups and if there's some little problems. This is the first time in English for us. We had last week, we had it in German, but now this is the more international version and the a little bit more proper version. We worked a little bit on it, so it will be a more smooth experience, I hope, for you. Let's wait 1 or 2 minutes more before we start officially, so that everyone can join, because it's also new for you with this platform, and it takes some time to settle in. But thank you all for joining us here today.
Okay, we still have Associazione, Adrian, David. We're missing your country code, EN or ES. You can rename yourself clicking on the upper right corner of your picture. Adrian, the same for you, David.
Okay, I'm going. On the way.
No, he's gone. Charlie. Hi, Charlie. Cool.
Cool. It's nearly 10.
10 minutes
6.
now, huh?
So there's another one. Maria, we couldn't start without Maria.
Matteo, are you already there?
Matteo Rueda, yeah, Matteo's there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Ah, I see. Ah, perfect. Hi, Matteo.
Hi, Matteo.
He's joining from Colombia.
Matteo, last time I saw you was in my car in Italy, and now we are locked down at home.
Yeah, that was a year ago. Actually, a year ago.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All these events. Oh, perfect. I think we can start. It's so nice to see all of your faces, but for now I'm switching to my monitor so that we can begin with the presentation. Give me a second to get set up. Perfect. Thank you so much. So also a little bit smaller. Perfect. Tony is joining also from Australia. That's so cool. So let me give you a little introduction in our day, in our evening, or depends where you live in your next 1 or 2 hours. First, Tom, also here joining from Sportograf, will tell you a few things. We will welcome you. Then I give you a little introduction to Zoom and to the breakout rooms. These will be more important later. Then we show you a little bit about our product. what is important for Sportograf, a very short tour on our new website, and for the photo flat. Then Markus Stockmann from Germany will tell you a little bit about the important settings that are important at Sportograf. Then we have 15 minutes. It's not a break. It's in a breakout room. More on this later. But these are for questions, for translation help, and for a little if you need a coffee or a tea or water. And then we will go on with picture composition with Konstantin and me, and then we can answer your questions. So please, if you have any question in the next 2 hours, please note it, write it down for later, because it's all very important for us to answer your questions. It helps everyone. So don't be shy. If you're new, I see we have a lot of new people. More half of everyone is like starting this year. But this is the little agenda for today. And this is our official welcome for you for joining us here. This is the first time we do it in English. We are no English speakers here. I think Tom knows 18 languages fluently, but I'm only good in German. Have a little bit.
Nada.
We are. Let me introduce you to the team today. We have me from. We have Tom who's joining. He is one of the CEOs from Sportograf, the founder, one of the two founders. So perfect. If you have any question later, maybe he's very good to have him here. Then we have Markus Stockmann joining from Ulm in Germany, who's working with us on the technical side. So he's very good in all the settings, everything that has to do with technical part of Sportograf. Also joining is Konstantin Rimpel from Hannover in Germany, professional photographer, studied one, and he has a lot of great input for some technical parts and also on the image composition. And then we have me originally from Freiburg, at this moment in Bochum in Germany, and I'm the person behind Team Edge Sportograf and Till Edge Sportograf. I'm also working. I saw a lot of you also at workshops, like in Spain. This year we had the workshop in Spain. It was the first time we experienced a little bit in electronic workshops with YouTube. But yes, I'm now in charge of like a little bit of the workshops, and I hope we can get it running to a very stable amount of workshops throughout the year, so you can always be. We have the knowledge for you to get you up and running. So not to talk too much, I would invite Tom to welcome you with a few words on the actual situation. And Tom, nice that we have you.
All right, everybody, thank you very much. Sorry, when I'm looking left and right, I have two monitors here. Thank you very much that you take the time for our first international digital workshop. It's a very hard times all over the world, and I'm very sorry for everybody of you who had some losses or difficult situation at home or within families. We will all go through this together, and I'm sure the world will start be normal as we know it before. And I so much hope that this nightmare will be over very soon, and we may have a second part of the season. And I'm super happy to meet as many as possible of you. And yeah, I hope you will have fun and don't judge us too hard. As Till said, it's our first international workshop we organized so far via Zoom. So I hope you can enjoy it. And yeah, thanks for being with us.
Great, thank you, Tom. So also not just a note, we have a few of your regional persons here. We also met them at events. We have Matteo from Colombia, we have Francesco from Italy, we have Daniel from Spain, and these are like people who work a lot with us, and you saw them on a lot of events, and you can meet them later in breakout rooms. I tell you more about them soon, where they are ready for your questions and for a little help if you don't get everything. More on this later. So let me give you a little introduction. We are using the Zoom solution, and with this we have some options. First, if you didn't change your name with your country or your language code, so in you are English speaking or from Germany or Europe as well, please change it to EN, English, Italy, IT, and Spanish, ES. You have the option to raise your hand. So if you go to participants on the down, you can click it, and then you can rename your name, and you can raise a hand. So if we later ask for your questions, you can raise a hand, and then we see you have a question, and we can select it, and we can go on. So to the breakout rooms, this is something special because we have a lot of languages here, and hard to get it everything in English. After each topic, we will go to a breakout room. This is why we need your language short form. And in there, you can ask questions. Or if you didn't get everything that was said, please be free to ask. I didn't understand the English version. Please tell me what was said there, or I have a question. These will take like 5 to 10 minutes. If you need more time, maybe we can enlarge it a little bit, but don't be shy. Ask questions about everything. It's very helpful for us. And after the breakout session, where you will be with only the Spanish speaking and English speaking and Italian speaking people, we will meet again automatically. So there will be a timer, and after that we switch automatically to the big meeting again, where we continue. And so please keep in mind to wear some pants or stop any illegal activities at this moment. Otherwise, we will have a problem. So let's start. It's interesting that we have so much people here. We have people that never shot a Sportograf event before, that are eager to start this year with us, or maybe had the chance to shoot it here. And also we have people that are very skilled and very experienced with us, like 5 or 10 years working for Sportograf. So we have a little, it was a little bit tricky to create a program that has a little info, or has enough infos for the new people and not too much for the people that. But these are the topics that are most important at Sportograf and that follow us throughout the season. So these are the main things we need to talk about at every start of the season. Last year we had a lot of local workshops. This is now our chance for us to bring you all these infos at home today. So thanks for joining us.
Delivery.
Yeah. So these are the 4 main things that are most important for the work with Sportograf. Sportograf is known at the sportsmen's and sportwomen's and organizers for 4 main points, and these are for us the sharp pictures with the visible bib numbers, so the starting numbers of every athlete, and we have our pictures quickly available. So these 4 are the key reasons why we are at the event, and why the people like us. Hopefully, yeah. If something of this is not good, maybe the people are not happy. But this is the reason for this workshop, to get this perfectly done if we have an event. So we show you for each point what is important for this. So let's start with our product. Our product is delivered via website. This is the Sportograf main page. This got a major redesign and with more function last year. So maybe some of you already saw it, maybe some of you didn't. Let's have a quick visit.
Vale.
This is the live version.
Bueno, també una introducció i això.
We have someone talking. One moment. So this is the actual Sportograf main page. You see all the events, and you are available to click on the different events. Sadly, it's not too much for this year, but it will be more later this year, but more on this later at finish. So and here you can enter your your bib number, your starting number, and this is where we see our most famous product. This is the photo flat. We also sell the basic pictures, the one personal picture. If they find a picture that they like, they can sell it. They can buy it individually, but this is not our focus, and it's not the most common version. Most people like and love our photo flat because it's a very, very good bargain. It's let me switch again to my presentation. Perfect. Here we are. So the photo flat. Why is it so good, in my honest opinion, and ours from Sportograf? It's important for the athletes that they get the completely story of the race. So they have it from the starting line, from even before the starting line. So if they visit, if they collect the bib number and there's a Sportograf impression photographer and he makes a picture, they are possible for them to find the pictures. But more on this later with Marcus. But this can show you it starts not at the finish, at the starting line. Sometimes it starts before, like at the expo. If you ever shot an GFNY event, there's an expo at the day before where they can get pictures of also. But the reason for the photo flat is that they have the perfect story of the race day. So it starts at the morning finish line, the spots where they see it in the race, and starts with hopefully with a great finish line picture, and maybe with a picture with the Finnish beer in hand with their colleagues and friends. And also in this flat, it's continued all. It's with all personal pictures, so they get every picture we can find of them, or with which they can find for themselves later. More on this later. And all impression shots. So we have a selection of maybe 10, 20, 30 great impression shots, maybe drone pictures, landscapes, stills, images, which they get for not for free, to be honest, but as a perfect addition to the photo flat. And so they can have a lot use with the pictures. They can make great wall prints. The quality is very high, and the solution is also very high, so they can even print it out for a wall, or they can make a photo book, of course, for Instagram or Facebook. It's very good. They can search with the bib number, so I can show you this in a second. And the photo flat has a very consistent visual style. So this is our key that we need to that we realize, is that every photo flat has a very consistent style, so that are not there are not too many different styles, and this is very important that we set the cameras very good, so that there's no one with a wrong setting, and then sometimes the consistent visual style is not possible. So we post-process every picture, and we have very cool looking photo flats, like maybe at Spartan we have a little bit more dramatic pictures, or if it was a very rainy day and very dark, we try to get better pictures at post-processing. And this is also very nice if you see a very good photo flat with a lot of pictures, but they do not look too different. They are all from one camera, looks like. And we have geotagged images, so they can search for their pictures even without their start number, just when they upload their track, but more on this later. So this is how it looks like. I was lucky enough to participate in a race last year. I was at Rad am Ring. It's Green Hell, Nürburgring. In Germany, it's a very famous racetrack. You see on the picture here. It's normally for cars, but
everybody knows Niki Lauda, right? The guy, the Formula One guy. He with the burnt face. He burned his face on this racetrack.
Yes, and one time a year you can race there on the bike. It's very great, and I did it last year, and I had also a photo flat, and I was there. I didn't shoot, but I saw all the photographers at the on the side, and normally I can greet them because I know every one of them, and it was great fun to be racing this race with so much great colleagues on the side. And now I can, after the race, I was very much looking forward to see the pictures. So I was eager after the race. I couldn't wait. Are the pictures online? Are the pictures online? And after I got a mail, the pictures are online. I can enter my bib number, and then I saw nearly 100 pictures of myself. So I have it here even before the race. And then I have first lap, second lap, third lap. You see here, this is before I switched to a more casual style. I was riding this race, I think the only person with a gravel bike on a road bike.
Till is a hipster, everybody. He was racing with the gravel bike.
Yes. So I have a great selection of very nice pictures, and you see we have a good post-processing. So the people do not need to put it in Photoshop for themselves, because we do it for them. We have a good post-processing that's even better. So you see it's very even load more, and sometimes they even get more. So, but more on this later with Markus. But just to get you an insight on how a photo flat looks like, and this is for the price that they pay, and this is why you are here. And even I got all my nearly 100 pictures, and I got also 28 impressions for free as an addition. So we have cool drone pictures like this, you know, and this is awesome. If I want to make a photo book. This is what I love, and this is why I think Sportograf is a very awesome photo service. So this is our product. So, and how you can think of today is the day where we can explain you how we can achieve this goal. So for us, right now it's a difficult situation. We know everyone needs to earn money. And for us, it's most important that you are very soon starting to earn money again, and also be with you. And how we can do it the best is if we all have good equipment, and if we have the proper skills for the cameras, for the pictures. So we need reliable equipment. You see here, this is Colin. Who also
damn it, I was going to ask people who is the guy. Now you told the name.
Yeah. Yeah, not the one on the front. This is Jenny from Freiburg. Yeah. And they are at the Muddy Angel Run. Some of you maybe have shot them before, but it's a good example on why we need good gear. So if you have a camera and you get a little dust or a little sprinkle of dirt and it falls apart, it's not good for a Sportograf. So we cannot deliver good pictures. So, but more on this very soon. Because now we try the first installment of a breakout room. We didn't have it in German because we didn't have any translation stuff going on, and didn't have so much difficult. We have some people from East Germany, but they understand everything. I assure you. But now we try something else. We now switch. I just asked my colleague Markus. Markus, are we ready to go?
In 1 second, can
perfect. No,
yeah, just tell me which language for Thomas Korea.
Thomas, Spanish.
Okay, and Spanish.
And also Manuela is joining, and Manuela is also Spanish. I saw it.
Okay.
A second ago.
Then for the moment, I got everyone assigned, and
so,
just for everyone, I will. Just press on a button in a second, and then we split up into 3 groups, and we will meet again all together in like 10 minutes. Okay, so don't get confused. It will be returnable automatically.
Yes. So you please use these 10 minutes if you have any questions. So if you didn't understand anything, or have a question maybe later for the group, or have a question about the website or the photo flat, if we are ready sooner, we will meet again, like maybe in 5 minutes. So there was not too much input at this moment. So maybe we will meet in 5 minutes. We will check with Tom, Francesco, and Daniel and Bene if we can meet again in 5. So please don't go for a 10-minute walk. Please stay with us. And if you have a question or any question about the translation, the English stuff, please ask it, and then we will meet again after this, and then Marcus will start with a more technical part about the camera settings.
Okay, I will start the sessions now.
Perfect.
O si no lo sabéis, pues vamos a dar un poquito, ¿vale? Ya es hora de saberlo. Entonces, sé que hay una parte de compañeros que estamos aquí del equipo español, pero hay otra parte de compañeros que son del equipo de Colombia, de Sudamérica, ¿vale?
Catalanes també.
Catalans.
Un hay.
Catalans, aquí, un altre.
Vale, entonces, lo que sí que es cierto es que acabo de ver una serie de caras y acabo de ver una serie de nombres que no tengo yo reconocidos en el equipo español. Entonces quería que hicieseis una breve, rapidísima y muy rápida introducción, ¿vale? A ver quiénes sois, de qué zona de España sois localizados y un poquito qué es lo que habéis hecho de fotografía deportiva hasta ahora. Mira, Xavi, puedes empezar tú.
Perfecto. Hola, Daniel. Hola a todos. Bueno, yo soy de Tarragona, de Cataluña, y bueno, hace relativamente poco contacté con Sportograf y la verdad es que estaba esperando a que pudiera ir a mi primer evento de prueba. Lo que pasa es que con todo esto del coronavirus y tal, pues la cosa ha quedado en stand-by. Y nada, yo todavía no he empezado a trabajar en ningún evento. Me seleccionaron, supongo que como todos vosotros, y aquí esperando. Pero claro, ahora la cosa está en stand-by.
Vale, ahora comentaremos un poquito las previsiones que el resto de la gente del equipo español que hemos estado hablando estos días, en alguna videoconferencia que hemos hecho grande y tal, os hemos comentado y daremos alguna pistas pocas e información veraz, o sea, veraz toda, pero fiable y que puedas coger directamente y decir que esto es lo que va a pasar va a ser muy complicado.
Claro.
Pero son estimaciones. Todo lo que tenemos son estimaciones, ¿vale? Venga, más.
Vale.
Pues empezaré yo mismo.
Venga. Vale.
Bueno, soy Víctor, soy de Barcelona y pues igual que el anterior compañero, sigo a la espera del evento de prueba y bueno, he trabajado este último año en más de 10 carreras, he estado trabajando por mi cuenta como fotógrafo y nada, esperando la oportunidad de poder trabajar con todos vosotros.
Venga.
Bueno, pues si queréis sigo yo, no sé si me oís.
Sí, perfectamente.
Pues, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Ángel, soy de Alicante y como mis dos anteriores compañeros estoy a la espera también del test event y bueno, nos ha pillado una muy mala época, pero estoy seguro de que dentro de poquito nos podremos juntar todos y hacer buenas cosas.
Claro que sí.
Bueno, sigo yo si queréis. Yo soy José de Murcia. Ahora mismo estoy en Mallorca haciendo la cuarentena. Conocí de Sportograf a través de la Spartan que se celebró. Y como el resto de compañeros, pues estoy a la espera de hacer la prueba esta a ver cómo ha pillado el coronavirus, pues estamos todavía esperando. Hice práctica en Ciencia F y de momento esa experiencia que tengo. A ver.
Vale.
Hola, no sé si me escucháis.
Sí.
Hola, sí, es que no sé, con el micro normal no me oíais. Bueno, soy Antonio López, vivo en Madrid y yo me he enganchado al tema de Sportograf por la Rock and Roll Madrid Maratón, porque yo antes estuve 5 años haciéndola con otra empresa, como ha ido cambiando. Este año se suponía que iba a ser Sportograf quien lo gestionase. Entonces, bueno, quería seguir un poco desarrollándome a este nivel, porque he visto que Sportograf hace no solamente maratones, sino distintos tipos de eventos deportivos. Y también de momento no he hecho ningún evento, estoy a la espera de poder participar.
Vale, de todas formas vamos a hacer una cosa porque veo que hay bastante más gente de la que yo pensaba. Mateo, ¿quieres comentar algo?
No, creo que todo el equipo de Colombia ya lo conozco. Me faltaría solo que David se presentara, es el único nuevo. De resto ya todos nos conocemos. David, si quieres, preséntate rápidamente como lo hicieron los chicos de España, los nuevos.
Hola a todos. Soy David, soy de Colombia e igual que muchos de ustedes, también me ha pillado la cuarentena y no he podido aún hacer el primer evento de prueba, pero pues ya vendrá y ya tendremos la oportunidad de conocernos mejor.
Buenas a todos.
Sí, Alberto, dime, sí, te iba a decir que
Sí,
te
¿cómo
presentases,
va?
por favor.
Bueno, me presento, yo soy Alberto Brescia de Buenos Aires, Argentina. Creo que soy el único representante de esta región. Y estamos, hace un año, estoy trabajando con Sportograf. Hicimos varias carreras en Uruguay, Brasil, Argentina y Chile. En algunas me crucé con Mateo. Y bueno, este año tenía ganas de viajar para Europa en julio, a conocerlos a todos en persona y vivir la experiencia más de cerca, y no voy a poder hacerlo.
Se ha jodido un poco.
Se ha jodido.
Va a estar un poquito complicado. Vale, hacemos una cosa, chicos. Dejamos ahora un poquito lo de las presentaciones para más adelante, porque se nos va a acabar el tiempo. Yo me imagino que habéis visto todos la presentación que hay puesta. Perdonadme porque estoy con 3 ordenadores diferentes haciendo cada uno una cosa distinta. El tema del producto y del tipo de fotografía que hacemos creo que ha quedado claro. Básico y principal, el elemento clave de toda la fotografía que hacemos nosotros es que las fotos tienen que ser nítidas, tienen que estar perfectamente nítidas dentro de los volúmenes tan grandes de fotos que hacemos en un mismo día. Lógicamente puede haber un margen de error, pero cuando más y cuando menos debe quedar perfecto, Bene. Thank you, Bene. Debe quedar todo lo más nítido posible. Los números de dorsal, da igual donde vayan, si van en la frente, como en el caso de Spartan Race, o el bib number, el dorsal está en el pecho o en la tripa del corredor, o en la bicicleta, tiene que estar perfectamente visible, con lo cual no siempre podemos hacer la foto más bonita, más chula que nos gustaría, sino que tenemos que hacer la foto que nos permita tener el dorsal lo más visible posible. Tenemos que hacerle a todos los participantes del evento, desde el primero hasta el último, ¿de acuerdo? Somos los primeros en llegar y los primeros en empezar a hacerle fotos a todos los participantes, los últimos en irnos, porque hasta que no pasa el último no nos podemos mover del sitio. Y la velocidad, en este caso, la rapidez de entrega y el proceso de toda la información es muy importante, es vital, con lo cual todo tiene que moverse de una forma muy rápida, tiene que estar todo muy coordinado y hay que seguir un poco las indicaciones que se dan desde el principio que planificamos la carrera. Todos los que habéis hecho ya algún evento con nosotros, con Sportograf, lo sabéis, que hombre, la velocidad es importante, pero vamos, que tampoco nos matamos, no bajamos corriendo una montaña para llegar al sitio, pero es necesario que todo se mueva dentro de unas indicaciones y un orden ya preestablecido. Esto lo bueno que tiene es que podemos trabajar, la metodología de trabajo de Sportograf es válida para todos los países, con lo cual da igual si estáis en Colombia, en Argentina, en España, con Bene, por ejemplo, en Alemania. Hey, Bene. I'm just saying that the methodology is the same as across all the countries.
Yeah, we are back in 10 seconds. We are back in the big meeting.
Timing. Okay, so entonces,
muchas gracias.
Si hay alguna duda, alguna pregunta, ponerla en el chat o levantar la mano. Hay un botón de levantar la mano o por WhatsApp.
No se pueden hacer ahora por aquí con audio.
Nos van a meter en cuanto que nos descuidemos, nos van a meter en la reunión general otra vez del grupo. Coméntala ahora mismo y si nos da tiempo a resolverla, bien, y si no, pues lo intentamos en la siguiente.
Vale, es que eran varias preguntas. Una de ellas es, sobre todo, si el cobro tiene que ser obligatoriamente autónomo, porque yo antes, por ejemplo, cuando trabajaba para Maratón Foto,
So I see a lot of people. Nobody's crying. I hope Tom Francesco, Daniel, Birne, they didn't. Angela's crying. But he has other problems, I see. Nice set. Cool. Nice to have you all back. I think we are all back. Yeah, we have a full room, looks like. And I see Markus is beginning with his preparations, because now Markus Stockmann from Germany starts with the camera settings. And yeah, with no further ado, please, Markus, you have the word.
Oh, okay. I hope you can hear me. I just got lost of Till's voice. So yeah. So yeah. We now got the idea. Why our camera photograph, and that's basically simple. There are many photographers photographing for one product, so you would need to find a standard, a consistency between all those photos to make it one piece together, to make them fit together. And that's why we have some special requirements on the settings. And yeah, some settings are additionally important for the website. I will show you how the searching works. If someone has a muddy number or so, then they also can search for their images where the number could not be found. And processing, the color scheme should be all the same on all your different pictures from all cameras, from all photographers in a race. So yeah, and of course some settings simply make sense, like special autofocus settings for sports. And so I get to skip. Okay, now I see it better. So yeah, the first very important setting is date and time, and we have to set those in-camera clocks very precisely, because they serve many functions on the website. So as you can see on this picture, there are many sportsmen running with some sort of GPS device. It can be a clock, a bike, computer, anything. Even the smartphones can do it today. So this is a picture from Berlin Half Marathon, and you see at least half of the guys in the picture that's at the finish line, and they are looking at their clocks instead of making party. So I will skip again to the Sportograf website. This now is an example from Mallorca 312. Tom did this last year together with Antonio and some other guys, I think. And we jumped directly to his photo flat. So this was a crazy race with over 300 kilometers of riding. And as you can see in every picture popping up, there is always the time in it. So this is everything sorted by time. So that's one reason why it's so important that you get your date and time. So this will be chronological, so you get the story told from the beginning to the finish line down there. I won't skip there because this photo flat is huge. But we have this button here on the side. Are there more photos of me? So if you know, oh, they took a picture of me there, I'm sure, but you can't see this picture, then you can, for example, click there. And also by categories. In this case, there was a team of 20 photographers, I think. There are many categories. So, but if I jump to one category, you will see here a selection by time again. So the precise timing is important also for this search. Now I can see, yeah, kilometer 141. When have I been there? I know this because I use my bike computer. So I can have a look down here, reduce the number of pictures I have to look through. That's very cool. And for the more precise stuff, the guys also can upload their track they took during a race. This also works. I won't show you that today. So yeah, there are many functions why it's so important that we all set every camera to the right time.
Often it's, sometimes it's tricky because you have an LS camera and you have 2 cameras and you have the time set on one camera, but then you have a little problem on this camera and it's not usable. And then you have the other camera, not the right time, even not the right time even not the right date. So we have everything. We have different years, we have different minutes, hours, different seconds. But for us, it's key that we need it absolutely to the second. So this is why we, before the event starts, we all meet together in the best case and set all the times for the cameras to the second with an atomic clock app or something like this. But if it's a second to maybe 1 second is not too much of a difference, but if you have like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, minutes, hours, it's very often that we have wrong times, and this is a big problem for the people, because if you make the best picture and maybe there is a muddy starting number, so if you're shooting a mountain bike race or an obstacle race and you have a muddy bib number, and they cannot find the pictures without the time search or maybe a manual search. And even at obstacle races, the people have clocks where they track their time and the track, and it's very easy to upload to the Sportograf website, and then it's up to you guys to have the correct time for the cameras, or to us to let people find the pictures.
Okay, yeah. So this was the time. The next important thing is the pictures shall be online quick. And as you all know, and maybe most of you usually shoot in RAW, for Sportograf, everyone shoots in JPEG. This has many advantages, some small disadvantages. One big advantage, you can see here my setting of memory cards. I think some cards are still missing there. And yeah, a usual day that with some SSDs for some of us guys who are copying this stuff. Yeah, we tend to have this special settings for image size and quality, because they make most out of file size, and file size is crucial. Memory cards we need and how many SSDs we need to copy all the pictures. And yeah, the output, so that what the high resolution picture, what is sold, is about 10.6 megapixels, somewhere around that, and that's with useful settings, usually 3 to 4 megabyte per image that you take. Don't go too crazy. Yeah, I know there are cameras with over 40 megapixels right now, but we don't need that. Right. We got a precise table with all those settings for all the different cameras in the event manager. I can't show you right now, but we have it there. When you start the event manager, it's down on the up on the right side under links. And a third one is also important besides the image size. It's the quality or the compression for the JPEG. And we don't need super fine. That's the advantage in image quality is very small, but the amount of additional data is huge. So we decided to work with Nikon, with normal, with Canon, with the stepped quality, and with Sony with standard. Yep.
Marcus, just 1 second. Can you go a second back to the?
Yeah.
So I just Antonio, he's raising the hand. Please,
okay.
Please wait. No, we can. We have a little breakout room again in just a second, so we can answer your question there. So I ask Daniel to please note Antonio's question for everyone later. Yes, this is a huge deal for every one of us, because if we get the right image size, it's very good for us, because we don't need too much memory cards. All the processes will be faster. Copy the cards. You will be earlier at home. and not too late because you someone shoot maybe way too oversized pictures, or maybe in RAW, which will be the worst for us because we cannot process RAWs, but we need all pictures. So this is very, very important to have the right size for your camera, the picture size. And for this, please, you can visit the event manager, and there we have a new section. It's called links. And in there we have a lot of infos for you. We have the contracts, we have, but also we have the sheet for the camera sizes, for the picture sizes. So this is very important for if you have the next event, please have a look. You can have a look today, tomorrow. You can search for, we have the most common cameras. We don't have every camera, but the most common ones, and then you can see what's the best size. Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, I try to check that from time to time when we will have events again. And then if you get a message with, hey, your settings were too high, check it again. Maybe that's not a bad thing by my side. It's just yeah, better for everyone. You will need less memory cards when you reduce your that what we only that what we need. Okay, then yeah, that's the downside of JPEG. You have less flexibility, of course, with what you get out of the JPEG for post-processing. And since some years, Sportograf does post-processing. And so there are some additional settings that have to be for everyone the same to be able to do this post-processing. And yeah, there it's good to understand how JPEGs are created in camera. And there are at least those four important ways. One is color profile. This is often called picture style in Canon, and in Nikon it's picture control system, I think. We set this to neutral or standard. Those color profiles are very flat, so you will not have that much contrast in them. And sometimes you even will think on the back of your camera, oh, this picture looks like shit. But after the post-processing, I often have the experience that they look absolutely great while they were flat and not so special on your camera display. So don't get confused by that. And please don't fine-tune those settings. They are often, yeah, some extra settings. Please don't do that. Then, of course, the white balance is important. In the RAW, you could switch that afterwards. With JPEG, it's baked into the file. So we leave white balance on auto because this is the most neutral color you can get. Yeah, then there are some auto optimization things like active delighting. Please don't use them. Yeah, they are very bad for the post-processing. They create massive halos and stuff, and in the end, the pictures are very ugly. And the not so important, but still important point is the color space. Please only use sRGB. If you're interested in this, you can set it to sRGB, because when you switch to RAW again for your other shootings, this won't have any effect because RAW doesn't get involved in this setting. So you can just switch it to sRGB and leave it there.
Yeah, so the main thing is here just neutral, because everything else will be a problem for us for the processing later. And it, yeah, you can have a little bit more sharpness, like Marco said. That's okay, but please don't turn the saturation to 10 or contrast too much, because you have a little. Your spot looks a little bit boring on your display. For the pictures to look really awesome later on with the post-processing, we need just neutral pictures. And this is very key for every event, and also like the time, super important to have this ready. Thank you, Marcus.
Just to give you a real world example, what will happen, guys? Imagine 10 of us are shooting an amazing ski event in Norway. And on some photos, the snow is white. But if you have different white balance settings, there will be also photos with yellow, with orange, or with gray snow. and it will be impossible for us to make them look the same, and that's the worst case can happen. So this is why we make it as neutral as possible. Norway.
Yeah. So this was some key. It was not too much information, but these are the absolute key informations. We saw also we have a little hand raising here, so someone has a question. So please use these maximum 5 minutes for your thoughts or your questions, and then we will meet again after this. So these are the main things: the correct camera time and the neutral picture style. And if you have a special camera and you don't know how to set it, please ask in the group, because we have a lot of people here with all kinds of cameras. So Marcus, I think we can start.
Give me a minute to. We had some new participants.
No problem. It's good to have time to click to your faces and see all the people.
Yeah, just one question again. David Amado, which language?
Spain.
Okay. So he's assigned again.
I hope.
Then we can start with the breakout session. Wait, I will give us 6 minutes, so 1 minute for the app, and see you in some minutes again. Or shall we answer the first questions? We will do them in the breakout.
Okay. Yeah, one second. Also joining for the Spanish team is Alberto. Alberto Vesquia from Argentina. So he's our person at Argentina.
Also Pablo Meckler.
Yeah. And Pablo, perfect. So we have a nice. We have all the cool countries with also cool people. So thank you, Marcus.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start the breakout session. See you soon again.
Otra vez de nuevo.
Otra vez aquí.
Vale.
Hola.
A ver, comentaros. Permitidme, voy a hacer un rápido repaso de lo que hemos visto hasta ahora, ¿vale? Por si hay alguna duda. Y ahora no creo que nos dé tiempo a más que una duda, la de Antonio, que ha levantado la mano. Os recuerdo, por favor, cuando estemos en el chat grande, en la sala general con todo el mundo, no merece la pena que levantéis manos y tal, porque no nos va a dar tiempo, no va a dar tiempo a resolver ninguna duda, ¿vale? Lo hacemos aquí si da tiempo. Y si no, ya luego os daré mi correo electrónico para que mandéis todas las dudas que podáis tener. Recordar que es muy importante para Sportograf tener un set de fotos de cada participante del evento consistente, de tal forma que los tonos, los colores, el estilo de la foto sea más o menos estable desde el principio hasta el final del evento. Gestionamos también datos GPS de las posiciones donde tiramos. Siempre tiramos en JPG, nunca se tira en RAW, solo JPG. Bene, is that true? Only JPG, no RAW.
I'm sorry, Antonio. Yes, it's true.
Who shoots in RAW pays the beer. El que dispara en RAW paga las cervezas. Da igual en qué país estemos, se pagan las cervezas, ¿vale? Entonces, no se dispara en RAW, se dispara en JPG. Y, si es posible, utilizamos el foco continuo, el autofocus continuo, que nos permite hacer seguimiento a un solo participante. Bene, can you go to the next one?
And this was the GPX, the timing.
And the next one? Yeah, because this one is an example. Exactly, this one? No, the one with the cards, the SD cards. Ok, thank you. Bueno, el tema el tamaño de las imágenes es muy importante también. El objetivo es llegar a unos 10-12 megapíxeles por cada imagen. Y se vigila bastante, se controla bastante, porque eso nos ayuda a ahorrar espacio en las tarjetas de memoria cuando los eventos son grandes y ahorrar espacio en los discos duros. Además, tardamos menos tiempo a la hora de subir todo el contenido de los eventos a los servidores, ¿vale? Entonces es bastante importante. Hay una tabla una tabla de especificaciones de calidad de las imágenes en el Event Manager, que lo podéis ver allí, para los que tienen acceso. Para los que no todavía, pues lo haré llegar. Pero normalmente lo que se hace es, con Nikon se trabaja en modo normal, con Canon en Stepped, que, si os digo la verdad, no sé la traducción exacta literal de esto. ¡Ahí va!
Hola.
Hello, hola María.
Hola.
Y en Sony, chicos, se trabaja en estándar, en calidad estándar. Bene, can you go to the next one? Ok. Y en general lo que se busca es tener un estilo de foto lo más neutral posible. No se le añade saturación, no se le añade contraste, no se le añade nada más. En todo caso, un poquito de nitidez, pero depende del modelo de la cámara. El balance de blancos siempre automático. Balance de blancos porque lo que ha comentado Tom es que si, por ejemplo, en Noruega tenemos un evento en la nieve, si cada uno se selecciona un tipo de balance de blanco diferente, la nieve va a aparecer verde en un sitio, roja en otro, gris en un sitio, gris oscura en otro lado, y no van a poder darle una nitidez, un estilo seguido. Y el espacio de color, si es posible, es RGB, ¿de acuerdo? Entonces, vamos a abrir un pequeño turno de preguntas. ¿Quién tiene preguntas?
¿Me escucháis?
¿Quién tiene preguntas sobre esta parte que hemos visto, Antonio?
Es sobre la tarjeta de memoria.
Sí, dime.
Que si se puede utilizar, ¿tenéis XQD o no?
Sí, la que la cámara utilice. Si usas XQD, lo que tienes que traer es el lector.
Tengo que llevar yo el lector.
Sí.
Vale.
Sí. Y dentro de eso, siempre y cuando mantengas los parámetros de calidad de las imágenes, no hay ningún problema. Te traes el lector, lo enchufamos al portátil y listo. Hay un compañero de aquí de Madrid que también utiliza ese tipo de tarjetas, no hay problema.
Tengo las dos, la Compact Flash o la XQD, pero quizás es más sencillo la Compact Flash para no tener que llevar más.
Hombre, si es posible la Compact Flash, mejor. Vale, chicos, un minuto más. ¿Alguna cosilla más?
Hola, acá Pablo de Argentina. ¿Te puedo hacer una preguntita?
Sí.
¿Qué tal? Con respecto al balance blanco que mencionabas recién, ¿no es conveniente en vez de hacer todos en automático, ya que cada cámara hace un poco lo que quiere? ¿No conviene empatar las cámaras en un mismo seteo y todos laburar en el mismo seteo y mantener un mismo estilo de balance blanco?
No, porque cada cámara hace, cada fabricante sobre todo, cada uno hace un poco el balance de blancos específico a sombras, a tungsteno o a lo que sea, lo hace de una forma diferente. Con lo cual...
Claro, digo, si todos hacemos el balance de blancos en un mismo blanco, en una hoja en blanco, no deberíamos de más o menos tener un balance símil y entregarle a Sportograf algo mucho más lineal.
Eso de la carta de blancos es un poquito complicado. Además, ten en cuenta que no todo el mundo, lo que ha dicho Robert, no todo el mundo estamos a sol, no todo el mundo estamos a sombra, no todo el mundo estamos con el sol de frente, no quería decir cara al sol, pero estamos con el sol de frente y otros con el sol de fondo. Con lo cual, eso también lo hace todo bastante complicado. En un principio, aunque se ponga el balance de blancos en automático, vale. No, tampoco hace falta complicarlo más y tampoco hay situaciones en las que sea tan sencillo que todo el mundo haga la prueba de balance de blancos antes de empezar el evento. Piensa que todavía hay veces que se cometen algunos errores en cuanto a cambiar de RAW a JPG, con lo cual
simplificar.
Hay veces que las situaciones son de estrés, o sea, hay que llegar a un sitio, hay que montarlo todo y al momento que terminas de montarlo todo te empieza a llegar la gente. No da tiempo a pensar.
Bien, bárbaro, gracias.
Venga, chicos, ¿alguna más?
No.
Vale, de todas formas, para los que no habéis hecho eventos con nosotros, con Sportograf, iremos facilitando la información que se pueda poquito a poco, ¿vale? Pero tener en cuenta que lo que habíamos comentado, según parece el mercado de eventos deportivos, por lo menos aquí en España, hasta probablemente julio, agosto, y sabemos que aquí en agosto no se hace gran cosa, lo que pasa es que a lo mejor este año cambia un poco, pero hasta julio, finales de julio, principios de agosto, es muy probable que no haya absolutamente nada. Los que estamos pendientes de los eventos estamos viendo que lo están moviendo todo. Con suerte lo que tenemos es que los están moviendo, no los están cancelando, lo cual significa que en los 4 últimos meses del año, septiembre, octubre, noviembre y diciembre, vamos a estar bastante liados, siempre y cuando tengamos en cuenta de que el coronavirus no vuelva y no volvamos a tener un confinamiento importante, que esa sería la peor de las situaciones, la verdad. Pero si va todo bien, a partir de agosto, septiembre deberíamos de empezar a poder movernos. Bene, which is the expectations in Germany from the point of view of Germany about the lockdown, about the coronavirus lockdown?
So yesterday they prolonged it till end of August. So yes, so for the events there will be probably no big events till the end of August. So
but only for the events.
For events, yeah.
Not for the people.
For the people, they just tell us 2 weeks or 4 weeks in advance. So they start to open some schools. But we don't know what happens when infection is increasing again.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying to the guys, that we are expecting at the end of August, September to
Marcus, could you please send us back? We have not been ready. We have a group for that. Once I write we are ready, we come back together because it's so important, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
We have a group for that.
I missed that. I will restart the sessions again.
Yeah,
Sorry,
please.
guys.
Ok, vale, chicos. Los compañeros del grupo en inglés no estaban disponibles todavía, así es que bueno, lo que os comentaba, comenta Bene que desde el punto de vista de los eventos deportivos hasta finales de agosto no va a haber allí, en Alemania, no va a haber absolutamente nada, lo cual significa que, bueno...
Aquí, Daniel, si... bueno, por ejemplo, es exagerado, por ejemplo, las marchas cicloturistas, yo porque también soy ciclista, y es exagerado, cada fin de semana las han pasado todas a septiembre. Claro, después estará si están contratados Sportograf u otras, pero
eso
es exagerado.
Eso es una cosa que ya hemos comentado aquí entre los que somos ya del grupo de Sportograf, que lo más probable es que en septiembre tengamos varios fines de semana, ya los tenemos, a no ser que se cancele de nuevo todo.
Sí, está claro eso.
Varios fines de semana en los que tenemos tres eventos y no más, 3 eventos en España, solamente en España.
Sí, es que es exagerado.
Con lo cual, pues vamos a tener que buscar la fórmula para repartirnos y para hacer las cosas de la forma más ordenada posible. Eso lo bueno que tiene es que nos garantiza que en septiembre, octubre, noviembre vamos a estar ocupados y eso significan chelines, pero significa que lo que en un año normal haríamos a lo largo de todo el año y lo vamos organizando para que sea lo más escalonado y lo más lineal posible, esta vez lo vamos a tener todo de golpe, con lo cual pues en muchos fines de semana no vamos a poder ir a todo lo que nos gustaría porque no nos podemos desdoblar. Vale, chicos, desde los equipos o los grupos que tenemos en Colombia, en Argentina, tal, ¿alguna pregunta? ¿Queréis comentar algo? ¿Queréis añadir algo? Mateo, habla.
No, por ahora no, creo que no han avanzado mucho en la presentación como para que salgan dudas. Creo que hasta ahora hemos tocado lo básico, entonces no sé si alguien de Colombia tenga alguna duda de lo básico, pero creo que todo el equipo de Colombia ya, con excepción de David, tienen ya muchos eventos encima, entonces no creo que haya muchas dudas hasta el momento.
Daniel.
Aquí estamos en la misma. Aquí la gran mayoría, actualmente todo el mundo ha hecho ya varios eventos y se lo saben. Pero bueno, de vez en cuando a alguno todavía le toca pagar cervezas. Por lo del RAW.
Me pasa. A mí me toca.
No te rías, cabrón.
Aquí no paga nadie una mierda. Aquí no paga nadie una mierda. Mucho RAW, pero no de cerveza.
Mateo, ¿qué tal andáis en Colombia? ¿Qué tal está la cosa?
Está bien. Estamos en aislamiento preventivo hasta el 27 de abril, pero sabemos que cuando llegue el 27 van a seguir alargándolo más y más semanas. Estamos ahorita en una cuestión que se llama el pico y género, y es que un día pueden salir los hombres, un día salen las mujeres, y ya,
sí,
básicamente
poco,
es eso.
Así vais a follar poco, macho.
O más, o igual más.
Vais a tener que tirar un poco de... Bueno, nada.
Daniel, soy Antonio, ¿me oyes?
Sí, dime, a ver, Antonio, dime.
Sí. No, digo, como hay un hueco que antes te había hecho una
Aprovecha,
pregunta, pero no sé si es de este bloque o es más
Venga,
adelante.
aprovecha ahora, venga.
Pues te
Dispara.
preguntaba el tema de tener que estar dado de alta de autónomo para el
Sí, hay
cobro.
que estar. Tú tienes que emitir facturas. Para cobrar los eventos de Sportograf tienes que emitir facturas. Como lo hagas.
Antes lo cobraba sin factura, me hacían un pago a cuenta y claro.
En Sportograf tienes que emitir facturas. Ya como lo hagas.
We'll be back soon. In 5 seconds. We'll be back.
Venga, de 5 segundos entramos en la esta. Luego lo comentamos.
Good questions. Maybe we can select them later for everyone. Tom is muted.
Questions we had in every group, so everybody will learn from them, if you like.
Sorry, Tom, your first part of the sentence because you were muted.
Okay, so we can also repeat the most important questions now in a big group, so everybody can learn from them. If it's not 100 questions, we had one important question in the Italian group. It was whether we have to put a local time in the camera, or for example, the time of Greenwich, England. And the answer obviously is yes, it's a local time in the camera. So when we shoot in Japan and it's 12 o'clock, we set 12 o'clock in the camera. And that's not a stupid question actually, because for those of you traveling a lot with us, it can happen that you shoot in New York and the weekend after you shoot in Italy. So yeah, it's always the local time where you are shooting.
Perfect.
How about the Spanish guys' questions? Or English? We have people from America, from Australia.
Daniel, did you have some questions at your group?
Yeah, well, we have been discussing some of the stuff about memory cards formats, which are the best ones or not, and mainly I have made a resume of everything that we have been seeing in the screen to make sure that everybody understands it.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, yeah, we had also one question in the English group concerning white balance, and I think we started some years ago with that by experimenting, and the best solution that came out was auto white balance, because this made the most consistent flat images with neutral color grading over the whole day. So yeah, that's often.
Because sometimes you start even before sunrise, then you shoot at sunrise, middle of the day, and sometimes even evening. And there was the best solution for the auto white balance. So yeah.
There's no question. Okay, no question.
I think we have now another very interesting topic, and after this we have a little bit more time for questions. So I think we can move on with the next part. The next part is also with Marcus, if I'm not mistaken, and he will share his screen. And we will start with shutter speed and autofocus.
Yeah. But that's my part, so I think.
Perfect. Perfect. Sorry, this was my bad.
No worries.
Now let's give this a go. So now we are back here.
Nice. Okay, so Marcus told us what to set the camera to when we want to have the right date and time and everything, so we're good to go shooting. So the sharp pictures are what we want to deliver to all athletes, and therefore we will start with the shutter speed. So Till, maybe you can go to the next slide. And the next slide. Yes, perfect. So the most important rule is to be aware of your shutter speed and to freeze the action, actually. So if your shutter speed is too long, you will obviously get motion blur with moving subjects. So we tried a little bit, and running seems to be sharp at 1,000th of a second and biking at a 2,000th of a second. So please don't go slower than that. The picture you see here, trail running event, a 200th of a second. And you can see that the feet are very blurry and the face is a little bit blurry. It looks like it was shot in the early morning, maybe. So just bump your ISO and go with a faster shutter speed.
And it was also a top of the line camera, so it was a 1DX Canon, very professional camera. And you see, the only problem was the shutter speed.
Okay, so if you set your shutter speed to a faster rate, no, go to the next slide, please. It's very important because we're shooting very fast subjects sometimes. This is a picture from the Ötztaler bike marathon, and you can see we measured the speed and it was almost 90 kilometers per hour. So if you look at what that means for the speed of the cyclist, he will move quite some centimeters in that in your shutter speed. So this time it was shot with a 2,500th of a second, and the picture is tag sharp, and that's what we want. It's the best weather you can imagine for shooting and for riding, but the photographer still set the ISO to 1,000 to get the fast shutter speed. And as I mentioned, the rider will move quite a bit while you're exposing your picture. So you can see on the left in this little information. Yeah, thank you. The information, you will see that he moved less than 1.4 centimeters during the exposure, which is not a lot, and therefore the picture is sharp. So sometimes you have the best weather and you still, or not that bad, not that good weather, and you still want to have fast shutter speeds. You have to adjust something else in your camera, and that's why we will use the ISO for that, the sensitivity of your sensor, because we want to have sharp images, like I said. And next slide, please, still. And we all know if you bump up your ISO, you will get grainy pictures, like a little bit of noise going on. And normally we would say we don't want that in our pictures, but grainy pictures are better than blurred pictures, like we see with the little meme here. The bottom line is freeze the action, whatever it takes, and therefore just bump your ISO. The modern cameras, everything that's on the market now has so good ISO performance that you don't have to worry about shooting ISO 3200 or ISO 6400 if you want to freeze the action, obviously. Okay, so the best practice settings for shooting a regular Sportograf day, if you want, just set your camera to mode A or AV with Canon, and therefore you control your aperture manually and your depth of field, so the look of your picture, if you will, and the camera will set everything else, like the shutter speed and the ISO, if you set it to auto as well. Most modern cameras have a automatic ISO function nowadays, and you can also set your longest shutter speed in there. So if you set our basic rules in there for running 1,000th of a second, and for everything that's faster, a 2,000th or shorter even, then your camera will regulate the ISO according that your shutter speed will not be too long and you won't get motion blur. Since we introduced the post-processing some years ago, it turned out that overexposing the images is better than underexposing, because generally pictures will get a little bit darker or more contrasty. So maybe overexpose, as a general rule, a third or maybe 2/3 of an f-stop. But if you're in the snow or in the desert, it could be up to 2 f-stops overexposure. Just check your pictures for sharpness and for the looks on a regular basis during the day. Also, when the light changes, check your camera if it did what you wanted it to do. Maybe when there are clouds moving in front of the sun, or maybe after sunrise, or whenever the light changes, actually. Yeah, okay, so autofocus. We now have everything set for the light, and now we want to set everything for having sharp images of moving subjects. So we will only use the continuous autofocus. It's called differently in different cameras, but generally it's the focus that follows your subject. The best way, or the most efficient way to do that, is to select an AF field manually based on the composure, the composition of your shot. So if you have a single trail, for example, that you want to shoot an athlete on, just compose your shot and set your AF field where you want the athlete to be sharp. How exactly you set your AF field depends a little bit on the situation you're in. So if it's a single AF field or maybe a small group of fields, that depends on the camera and also on the situation you're in. If you have some foreground, maybe some plants that are in the foreground or something, just set your camera the way it does the job best. For Sony or for other manufacturers, you can use the AF if it's a good situation. For example, a single athlete on a trail or something, but don't use it in like big running events like marathons or stuff, because the cameras will be overwhelmed with all the people in the frame. There's also special cases for the focus when you set it to manual, but that's something for a different workshop, because it mostly it's mostly used for trigger cams for our LS or for the flash panning shots, but we don't want to go into detail here.
Yes, it was also, it's a great topic, and we had one question about this in our English-speaking group about the focus, and the question was if there is it a good thing to switch to a single, not to continuous autofocus, and if there are special cases where to do so, and there are some special cases for. If I can just bring this question in the group, like maybe if you ever saw a Spartan race, it's an obstacle race where nearly at the finish line, they have something called a fire jump, where the athletes are jumping above a fire, and we have a guy or a girl there shooting the people, and sometimes there's smoke of the fire comes in the way of your picture, and the autofocus doesn't grip anymore, and this is some case where a single shot or manual shot autofocus is a good selection, because you can select the autofocus field. Also, maybe in snow, or if you have other difficult weather situations and you see the autofocus is not gripping on your image. But most of the cases, continuous is the way to go. And if you have not sharp pictures, if your pictures are not sharp, please at first look if you have continuous autofocus on, because sometimes you make a panoramic shot or impression photography and you make it with single shot and then you forget to switch. So very often is this the case. So we are now at the next breakout session. It was set with 15 minutes. We think it's a little bit too much time because we had the last one just before that, but we can extend it. We will look for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. We will see how the questions are. So please don't see this 15 minutes as a set. If it will be ready in 5 minutes, we will meet again in 5 minutes. If we are ready in 10, we will meet in 10, or we have the full 15. No problem for that. This was about autofocus. Thank you so much, Konstantin. It was awesome. And the other camera settings also for Marcus. If you have any questions for your camera system or for anything else, please shoot it at us now. So Marcus, I ask you please to get the breakout sessions going again. Thank you.
We start.
Permitirme, vamos a hacer un repaso. Thank you, Bene. Vamos a hacer un repaso de lo que hemos comentado, ¿vale? Para que quede todo claro. Y ya que tenemos 15 minutillos de margen, podemos intentar resolver más dudas y más preguntas o cosas que puedan estar pendientes de antes, ¿vale? Importante, el tema de la velocidad de disparo. Perdonad, hay un pequeño punto, bueno, esto es típico de mí, soy un poco caótico mentalmente y se me vienen las cosas a la cabeza. Hay un tema que no he comentado antes, que se me ha olvidado por completo de la otra parte de la presentación, que es el tema de la sincronización de la hora, ¿de acuerdo? La sincronización de la hora es vital. Es importantísimo que todo el mundo tenga las cámaras configuradas a la misma hora, al mismo minuto y al mismo segundo cuando empezamos un evento. Esto es simplemente para que la aplicación de la página web pueda colocarlas, alinearlas todas según el orden cronológico. De lo contrario, hay algún problema técnico con la página que no nos las permite encontrar, bien. Entonces, esto es tremendamente importante. Dicho esto, normalmente por las mañanas, en los eventos que hacemos aquí en España, por las mañanas antes del evento o la noche de antes, vamos a revisar que todo el mundo lo tenga bien configurado, ¿vale? Y esto es una técnica que hacemos habitualmente. El tema de la velocidad de disparo. Generalmente, uno de los pilares base que hemos hablado al principio era que las fotos tienen que estar nítidas. Las fotos nítidas requieren una velocidad de disparo X, ¿de acuerdo? Para running, para eventos de correr, siempre si se puede tirar por encima o como mínimo a 1000 de velocidad es siempre mejor. Y para ciclismo, para bicicleta, por encima de 2000. Pero claro, bicicleta hay dos tipos, bicicleta en montaña y bicicleta de carretera. Nuestros compañeros de Colombia son los putos amos del ciclismo de carretera. Entonces, mejor que ellos para decirnos cómo hacen esto de lo de la velocidad. Mateo.
Chicos, pues sí, nosotros hacemos mayoritariamente, pues casi que solo hacemos ciclismo de ruta, que llamamos. Seguramente ustedes nos conocen por nuestros ciclistas también. Entonces se ha vuelto nuestra especialidad. Nosotros no disparamos a menos de 2500, básicamente. Hay casos especiales cuando obviamente estamos en un spot donde tenemos a alguien subiendo, ahí podemos relajarnos y disparar de pronto a 1000, 1250, pero en general no bajamos de 2500. Y pues tenemos la ventaja que estas carreras no son como las de ciclomontañismo o MTB, que son a veces en la noche, entonces tenemos toda la luz a favor.
Pero, culons.
Tenemos bastantes, ponernos el mute si es posible. Dependemos bastante de la situación, del tipo de evento, de la situación y de la posición. Como dice Mateo, no es lo mismo tirar ciclismo de carretera de subida, cuando los pillas subiendo, que de bajada. De bajada es necesario tirar a más de 2500 como mínimo. Entonces, eso hay que evaluarlo previamente a cuando nos distribuimos en los puntos de la carrera. Hay que tenerlo controlado, hay que saber si es subida, si es bajada, si es running, si es bike, mountain bike y tal, para un poquito ir planificando todos estos settings. Bene, can you go to the next one? Mira, por ejemplo, este es el ejemplo que comentaban, que calcularon la velocidad, que bueno, eso se puede hacer con el Garmin este que lleva las bicis, la velocidad a la que puede ir un ciclista cuesta abajo y, bueno, pues puede pillar velocidades de casi 90 kilómetros por hora. Con lo cual, la configuración de esta cámara se puso a 2500 en 200 milímetros a un ISO 1000 para garantizar que el objeto, en este caso el ciclista, iba a estar bien enfocado. También seguramente se tiró con autofocus, con lo cual, o focus continuo, con lo cual, al estar él solo, al estar aislado dentro del encuadre, pues era una foto relativamente fácil. Además, comentaban que la luz y la posición pues era la más adecuada para este tipo de eventos, ¿vale? La tabla esa de centímetros no voy a comentar mucho porque yo es la primera vez que la veo, pero viene a decir un poco cuántos centímetros se nos haría falta o se pueden adelantar en base a la velocidad. Pero ya te os digo, la acabo de ver. Bene, can you go to the next one? Y el ISO normalmente no hay ningún problema, generalmente porque se tire en ISO automático. Comentan en esta slide que prefieren, es muy preferible, en el caso de tener que decidir entre la velocidad y el ISO, porque haya poca luz, porque el día ya se nos está echando, la noche se está echando encima, o las condiciones de luz no son adecuadas, es casi preferible que tenga un poco de ruido, un poco de grano, a que sea una foto que está mal enfocada o que tenga movimiento, que no esté nítida. Entonces, mejor ruido, mejor ISOs altos que velocidades bajas, ¿vale? Ok, Bene, thank you. Y luego, pues esto, ISO, la apertura, la apertura del obturador se puede dejar en manual o nosotros en nuestro caso también hay muchas veces que lo dejamos en automático y lo que seleccionamos es fija la velocidad que esté la velocidad de disparo que esté por encima de 2500 y a partir de ahí el ISO puede ser automático sin ningún tipo de problema e incluso la apertura que sea la cámara la que lo decida. Ahí tampoco hay ningún problema. Y en el caso de tener que decidir, en el caso de tener que una situación de que salen o muy claras o muy oscuras, siempre tender a sobreexponer. Si tienen que salir, que salgan con mucha luz. Para el software de Sportograf es mucho más sencillo mejorar la luz que la sombra. Entonces, yo creo... ¿Is that the last one, Bene?
No.
Autofocus, vale. Autofocus continuo. Autofocus continuo, aseguraos de es la mejor herramienta para disparar en casi prácticamente todo tipo de carreras. En algunas situaciones especiales se puede utilizar el foco manual o el foco simple, pero son situaciones muy concretas y muy específicas. Han comentado que hay un tipo de carreras que Mateo, por ejemplo, del equipo de Colombia, estuvo con nosotros en la de Madrid. Hay un obstáculo al final de la carrera que es el fire jump, tienen que saltar una línea de fuego, una hoguera con fuego y ahí, por ejemplo, el fotógrafo, si está fijo en un solo punto, tiene que asegurarse de que la foto está bien hecha a la persona que está saltando el fuego, con lo cual todo lo que esté saltando por encima del fuego tiene que estar enfocado, el resto no es tan necesario. En esa situación, pues sí, se podría llegar a poner un foco un focus simple, pero claro, te olvidas de poderle hacer ninguna foto después ni antes del fuego, lo cual te limita un poquito. Y bueno, hay otras situaciones especiales como las cámaras con LS. LS significa, Bene, let me know if I say correctly. LS means Lichthanke.
That's very good, very, very good, yeah.
Lichthanke, barrera de luz, ¿de acuerdo? Utilizamos algunas cámaras que tienen un sistema de barrera de luz. Cualquier cosa que corta la barrera de luz, el haz de luz, hay una cámara automática que dispara la foto. Esto es un tema de fotografía un poquito más concreta de Sportograf que ahora mismo tampoco lo vamos a meter en mucho detalle, ¿vale? Vale, chicos, preguntas, dudas, historias.
Yo tengo dos preguntas, Daniel.
Dime, Antonio.
Mira, una de ellas es cuando haces la medición, normalmente que se coge puntual, ponderada, al centro, esa es una, me imagino que tampoco es y otra es sobre si pones el disparo que dispara una sola vez cuando tú aprietas el botón, o hace como 3 o 4 lo que pueda tener tu cámara, 5, 6, 7 fotos continuas.
Vale, la primera, normalmente utilizamos área de enfoque parcial, ¿de acuerdo? Depende de los modelos de cámaras, hay unas cámaras que lo llaman de una forma o de otra. La parcial es una que coge más o menos la zona central o un área concreta del sensor que nosotros elijamos. Eso de todas formas se puede ver un poquito en función de qué tipo de evento estamos yendo, se puede decidir un poquito, pero generalmente parcial. Y luego, lo que comentabas, ¿cuál era la segunda pregunta? Perdona, que es que estoy a 3 pantallas a la vez.
La velocidad no la velocidad de disparo, sino el número de disparos por...
Ah, ráfaga. Ráfaga sí, ráfaga no. La ley obliga a decir que ráfaga no. ¿Vale? Ráfaga nunca disparamos en ráfaga, siempre disparamos en disparo simple. ¿Vale?
Ajá, vale. Y luego también han dicho que había que utilizar el enfoque y el disparo disociado, ¿no?
No. Yo no. Si lo han dicho, yo no lo he entendido, pero vamos, no es obligatorio. Hay quien lo hace, hay quien no. Eso ya depende de cada uno, de la forma más fácil y más rápida que tengáis para enfocar. Mientras que las fotos estén bien enfocadas, estén bien iluminadas, estén estables, el balance de blanco sea correcto, sea automático, todos los settings de la cámara estén bien y la foto esté bien, sea una composición buena, bonita, potente, agradable para el cliente, porque claro, luego nos olvidamos de que la composición tiene que ser adecuada y tiene que ser tienes que hacer las fotos en un punto en el que sean fotos que una persona compraría. Cuando consigues todo eso, que las fotos estén bien enfocadas y que esté bien disparado, eso ya es cuestión de cómo tú quieras hacerlo.
Porque al final se trata de encuadrar casi siempre al sujeto lo mejor posible, ¿no? Que es el que va a comprar la foto, que se vea bien.
Lo mejor posible es, hay que encontrar siempre al sujeto, pero tiene que ser, claro, depende del sitio. Hay veces que la foto te dice que simplemente con poner a la persona delante de la foto, porque sea un retrato o tal, es suficiente, pero si estás en lo alto de una montaña con el Mont Blanc de fondo y tal, no sé qué, joder, pues una foto que el tío esté más pequeñito, pero que se vea el sitio donde está, que es espectacular, ¿sabes? Ahí ya sí que es un tema entre composición y gusto fotográfico de cada uno. Es ya más complicado. Entramos en un terreno más difícil.
Es un poco lo que te iba a comentar, porque cuando tú tienes un corredor que viene hacia ti a unos metros, si le sigues disparando y no cambias el encuadre, a lo mejor haces un plano más medio o un plano más amplio, que es que si no las fotos son iguales. Le tiras 10 fotos y son las mismas.
Pero de eso normalmente si tenemos tiempo lo analizamos y lo pensamos antes del evento. Eso suele estar estudiado. Si hay tiempo, suele estar estudiado, ¿vale? Hay otras veces que no nos da tiempo y es, mira, ponte allí y saca la foto de tu vida. Pues ya está, saca la foto de tu vida. Pero hay otras veces que nos da tiempo a pensar y a decidir cómo la queremos hacer, cómo no. Si podemos visitar el recorrido antes de la carrera, lo hacemos o no. Depende un poco de las diferentes situaciones.
Por mi experiencia veo que...
Bene, how much time do we have left?
I think the others are ready. English is ready, so when there are no further questions, I think we can go back.
It's ready. Ok, yo no sé si los compañeros de Sudamérica tenéis alguna pregunta, de verdad, intervenir cuando queráis, que no quiero monopolizar la conversación ni que os quedéis. En nieve, sobre todo en el tema de la nieve. Vale, lo comentamos luego, Robert. Lo comentamos luego, no hay problema. Bene, we are ready.
Great. Perfect.
If you want,
everybody's ready. We'll be back in some seconds.
We go back. Chicos, recordad poneros el mute. Todos los que normalmente lo hace el compañero Marcus, pero si no se acuerda él, ponerse el mute, por favor.
Seconds.
It's such a nice technology. It's better than any school or university, I tell you. I start liking it.
It's fantastic. I nearly don't understand any word in the Spanish group, but fantastic people, so much motivation, and the people from Latin America, they start to make a Zoom call 1 hour after we quit this call because they want to go deeper. So it's really,
cool.
really, really great. Thank you for your time and for your energy to put in here.
If you hear Benedict and then Cabron or something like this, they talk about you. Yeah.
Okay, we are back after the break. We can also welcome Barbara. Barbara is joining from Berlin. She's known for every one of you who's a team leader. So you will have contact with her. She makes the handshakes between the organizers and the team leaders. So also very nice to have you from Berlin joining in. Yeah. So let me share my screen again. Just a second. So, and we are back. We had the pleasure of listening to Konstantin the last minutes, and he will get us going in this next section where we talk about picture composition for Sportograf, because it's a little bit special if you shoot for Sportograf. So Konstantin, thank you so much, and I'm happy for you. I'm happy to have you.
Okay, so now we have crossed the first point, like sharp pictures. We now know how to do that. And the second pillar of the Sportograf workflow is visible bib numbers. So since we're having all the pictures sorted by bib number, we have to see the bib number in the picture, obviously. So the pictures should look cool and have visible bib numbers in them. For the picture composition, we will have 3 different main topics, if you want. So the first one will be lens selection, the second one will be format choice, and the third one is like a troubleshooting composition tip thing. I will start with the lens selection, and Till will guide you through the other 2 points. So what's the best choice? Wide angle or tele? It obviously depends on your spot, and most of the times you will get the information from your team leader. So before you arrive, you will also already know how and what lens to use and how to shoot, actually. But sometimes you will get no information, or you will be told, go there, find something pretty, and do the best. So you then have to choose between wide angle and tele. For the wide angle lenses, we have 2 awesome pictures here, I think. For the wide angle, you have a more dynamic picture because you have to be closer to the people you shoot, and you have a large field of view, so you can see important background elements like a mountain range or a lake or something. That's the best point, or the best position to be in when you want to choose wide angle. For the tele lenses, you have a shallow depth of field, so use a bigger f-stop, please, if you shoot them. Don't shoot your 200mm f2 at f2 for sports events. You will get a lot of blurred pictures. But you can use a blurred background to maybe hide something that's ugly, like a McDonald's sign that's in that picture. Maybe you find it. You can look for it while I talk. If you use a tele lens, you also have a bigger subject that stands out. So it's perfect for portraits of riders or of runners. But please make sure that the bib number is visible, obviously. Yeah, and like I said, disturbing subjects and disturbing objects like the McDonald's sign will be hidden. So next slide, please.
One on this one, because because on the choice of the lens, sometimes you have completely free choice, and this is why it's also very awesome to have a good selection of lenses. So if you just have one lens, it's sometimes very difficult to give you a good spot. If you have like good wide angle and a good telelens, we can have spots and events for you everywhere, because we know you can make good pictures at a marathon with a lot of people. You can make pictures on a mountaintop where there's an awesome panoramic view. And sometimes there are strict guidelines from the team leader who says, you two people are on the biggest mountaintop, and please make wide angle to see the mountains. And if these two people do, oh no, I want to shoot tele today, there are enough photographers in the race, it's a problem. So if you have strict guidelines from the team leader, please respect them, and please do as you are told. You are skilled photographers, and in most cases, or often it's the way where you are free of choice and where you can select the image you want to create. And I think this is also awesome at Sportograf, because we want to give you the freedom, and for this we love these pictures, and that you are capable of taking these with the right equipment. So sorry, Konstantin, I give you the next slide.
Okay, so the focal length, like I said, is important to compose your picture, but it's also something that's important for your own safety. Marcus also already showed you the picture, or Till showed you the picture of the two muddy photographers, and they already used tele lenses, so they were quite far away from their subject. But if you use wide angle, please make sure that you don't harm yourself or anybody that's involved. In this case, like the picture you see here, that's the safe side. The sorry side would be the other side, because you can see how steep the mountain is. And please make sure that you don't harm yourself or put yourself or anybody else in danger when using wide angle. But I get it. The most dynamic and the best shots with a wide angle lens come when you get very close. So on the next slide, you will see two more examples of that. First one is an Xletics obstacle course race where you can get very wet if you use a wide angle lens, but they produce the best pictures there. And the other one from a Spartan OCR at the fire jump, also awesome picture there. But like I said, with the wide angle, you have more action in your picture because you're closer, but you will also get wet, and your camera will get hot, and you will get dusty, and it will be more dangerous for you, for your equipment, and for everybody that's involved. So choose wisely, but yeah, you will make the best of it, I think.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Konstantin. I will continue with these tips. And now when we have chosen the right lens, what can we do with it? Very famous is landscape nowadays. We are talking about the format of the picture format, because you are mostly free of choice for this also. There's usually no strict guideline to say, okay, only shoot landscape, only shoot portrait format. But when you have the choice, we want to give you a little help on how to choose wisely. So this is a good example for a landscape mode, because we have a great landscape, and also maybe sometimes this is like a stage race where the two riders, and often they want pictures together or single shots, but this is a great way where you can have all the participants, all the relevant parts of the picture inside the frame. And sometimes the portrait format is the best choice. Like here in Kuwait, we have the famous Kuwait Towers, and sometimes you don't get a good picture of the participant with a visible bib number and a sharp face and the landscape marks, the highlights of the landscape. Like this could also be a skyscraper or a clock tower or a big church. We often have it in Berlin that we have to choose very wisely at the Berlin Marathon, for example. Okay, you please shoot a portrait mode. You please shoot landscape mode to get this landmark inside the frame. So you are free of choice, but also please choose wisely. You are not. We are not so strict to say you only have to do it like this. But please, if you have a spot, keep in mind what is important for the spot and how to make the best picture. Also, very handsome is the rule of thirds for us. If you don't know the rule of thirds, this is the very short version. It selects, it creates parts of the image, and if you put the part of the motive, the athlete in our case, in one of these points, the cross points, it will create normally, often it will create a more harmonious picture. So it's always good to know these rules. It's a lot to dig in if you are interested, and it's very good for your photography in general. So this is sometimes if you are a new guy, a new girl who shoots photography in general, it's a very awesome rule to learn, because you can do a lot of good things with it. And to help you with this, it's a good tip to always see the grid lines in your viewfinder. This is also good for checking the horizon. So you can see if it's a straight horizon or it's not straight. And if you shoot like 5,000 images and after that you see the horizons completely not straight, you will not like will not like it so much. So if you don't do it at this moment, it's you can do it, I think, with every camera, and it's a very good thing to have, also for the rule of thirds. Next thing is something we see over the years in every pictures. It's very awesome if you have the athletes moving into the picture. Bene is a little bit too loud, but he's joined with his little son, so it was. So 1 second. So, yes, so this is also a good way to get good pictures. If you think on where are the people moving into my picture. So if the lady on the left picture will be completely on the right side, you have a lot of empty space, and this is not the eye will see it, and the brain will think, what is in the space? I cannot see anything. So this looks like a good picture because you have something logical is happening here, and the eye knows what's going on, and the brain accepts it as a good picture, I think. And also on the left side, you have the guy running from the right side to the left, and is framed on the right side, which also is a nice picture, I think. And you see the straight horizon also makes a difference. It looks just professional and well crafted.
And it's very romantic because they meet in the middle.
In the middle, yes. Yeah. Now we have a little bit troubleshooting. This is Matze from the Sportograf office, also shooting at events. This was an obstacle race, and we now look at some of the I don't want to say problems, because it's things we all do. Maybe you see a picture of yourself inside of these pictures, and this is not because we want to hurt you in any way. It's just to show the most common things that happen, and that happen to all of us. May it be at the first event or at the 100th event. You are never safe, so it's always good to remember these before the start of the season to be prepared. So this is the first one. A cool picture, very action, a lot of action is going on. The main problem for us would be there is no bib number. So this could be like an impression picture that every athlete gets with their photo flat, but for participant photos all over the event, it will be a little bit problematic because we have no bib number on the bike or the helmet. So if you make the coolest picture, think of that no one will see the picture if they don't find it if they enter the bib number. Maybe they
yeah, we need a visible number in any case.
Yes. And also very important is not to cut off the essential parts of the images. So it's important for every event. You see it here at the obstacle race, athletics in this case. You don't know what is this person doing. We need a little bit more information for the eye. So don't cut off the hands. You can cut off the legs, maybe if they are not important for the picture. You can make good portraits, but you have to see what is this person doing and why is this person doing this. So in this case, he's hanging from something cool and is in motion and looks strong, and it just looks a little bit strange without the context of the obstacle. Also in the second picture, also an obstacle race, strongman run. You see it's the eye has nothing to deliver to the brain, and so it just looks a bit confusing. So always remember to make the connection between the obstacle or the event or the bike to the sportsman. Like here at the Berlin Marathon, I'm sure this person gets a lot more pictures of himself running, but if this would be the only one, if this would be the only one, I think he will be missing his head a little bit. And also at bike events, they all often have very expensive bikes, and they love their bikes more than something else maybe. And it's not cool if you cut too much of the bike away. But it's not a strict rule, because you also can make very awesome teleportraits with just the handlebar and the face and the start number. But if you go wide angle, or if the whole body is your motive, then don't please cut too much of it off. Also, it's very, very common.
It is.
Yeah. To the website like they are. So always please turn auto rotate on in your camera. I don't know why to turn it off, but it's always good to check if is it on, is it off. Otherwise, the team leader has to rotate thousands of images, or they go just like this to the page, and the people have to switch them themselves, and it's just not look professional. So please check if it's on, and if it's not, please turn it on. Also, please clean your sensor if needed. Awesome picture, love it. But there is a lot of sensor dust on this picture. So the athletes are maybe not skilled professional Photoshop artists and can do it themselves. And we have like mails to the support where the people say, what is this in my picture? They don't know it. They don't know what is this, and they just want it removed. And they say, can you please give me a version without this? And it was not. There were cases where we sometimes edited afterwards because people were not happy with the images. So keep in mind. But otherwise, of course, there's a very awesome picture. This one is also very common, especially around new people. It's like the most famous test event picture, I think, is they are very eager to shoot. They can't wait to shoot a picture, and they, as soon as they start seeing the person arriving at the horizon, they start shooting, and this is way too early. Maybe we can sort the bib number on this picture, but just because our technique is so good, it doesn't need to be that we have a lot of these pictures, because always remember, see yourself in the shoes or in the trousers of the participant, and think, do you want to have these pictures for yourself? So if I would have these pictures on the Sportograf site under my bib number, I would say, what the fuck? I can't see me. What is this? Why should I pay for this? And this person would be right, because it's just wait a little bit, let the people arrive in your picture, and then make 3, 4, 5 good pictures of the person, and you are good to go. But also don't overdo it. It's also very, very common. Sometimes you have a very fast camera, and you push the button and never release it, never let go, and you make 20, 30, 50 pictures of one person passing by, and it's just too much. You don't need that much memory space. We don't want that much hard drive space, and it just takes longer, and the person thinks, oh cool. Just think, if you are visiting the Sportograf site and you see, you have 500 pictures in your photo flat, and you are very looking forward to see these pictures, and then you have like 500 pictures, and nearly 80% are the same. It's just not a good feeling, and we want to give the people the best feeling they can have looking at our pictures.
It's amazing timing, talking about feeling, because it's exactly 2 hours, or let's say 1 hour 50 before we started. It's really good. We have another 10 minutes breakout, and then it will be 2 hours. So it's just perfect before we lose our concentration. After the breakout, we will have still some words to you guys, and yeah, happy to see you in the breakout room, everybody.
Yeah, so please stay after this. This is essential because we have a little bit more information about how the season continues. I think this is very important for everyone. Marcus will get the breakout room running. If you have any question, couldn't be related to everything, just hit us with your questions. And Marcus, are we ready to join the breakout?
Okay, I start now.
Perfect, thank you so much. And see you after this.
Bueno, señores. Nos despertamos de la siesta ya. ¿Despertitos?
Es una cosa.
Días. Venga. Vale,
Venga,
a ver,
todo lío.
voy a intentar resumir todo porque esta parte es muy densa, ¿de acuerdo? Esta parte aquí nos podríamos tirar días y días discutiendo y comentando cómo hacer, qué no hacer, con la gente que ya ha hecho eventos y con la gente nueva, pues ya ni te cuento, que esto generará un montón de preguntas y un montón de dudas, ¿vale? Pero al hablar del tema dan por hecho de que ya sabemos de sobra el tema de cómo hacer una foto nítida, ¿de acuerdo? Y vamos a comentar el tema de las lentes, de la forma, del formato y de la composición. Pero la composición entramos en un terreno un poco complejo en cuanto a que pues ahí ya también interviene un poco el ojo del fotógrafo. Ok, Bene, can you go to the next one?
Sure.
Thank you. Bueno, comentan, hay un tipo de, como comentábamos con, creo que ha sido Antonio, hay un tipo de fotos, hay un tipo de posiciones, de puntos en la carrera en las que un wide angle, un objetivo un poco más abierto, pues, joder, da un poquito más la dinámica. Son fotos mucho más enfocadas a sacar el espacio, el landscape, el paisaje que hay alrededor, ¿de acuerdo? Y sacar, pues eso, tema de montañas, temas de cielos, temas de fondos, ¿vale? Y luego están los teles que nos permiten generar mucho más profundidad de campo, lo cual ponían el ejemplo de que allí al fondo del chico este que corre hay una señal de McDonald's. Claro, de McDonald's en realidad, teniendo la posibilidad de hacer un poco de desenfoque, no lo ves, porque en una situación normal esa señal no debería de aparecer. Entonces, bueno, pues con un tele tienes más capacidad de hacer un poco de desenfoque. Aquí el único tema es que tenéis que tener en cuenta que utilizando objetivos un poco más abiertos, las opciones de hacer fotografías se reducen a 1, 2, porque tienes que estar mucho más cerca del individuo a lo que podrías hacer con un tele que te permite, por la distancia en la que va viniendo, te permite hacer tranquilamente, sin esforzarte mucho, 2, 3 fotos sin ningún tipo de problema, ¿vale? Lo que también depende de qué tipo de sitio vayamos, qué tipo de carrera, qué tipo de lugar y qué tipo de evento, es siempre recomendable llevar un poquito un espectro bastante amplio de objetivos. Yo por debajo de 24 milímetros os diría que normalmente aquí en España nunca disparamos, pero nunca está de más, si tenéis la posibilidad, ¿de acuerdo? Si lo tenéis disponible, pues llevar un 24-105 de Canon, un 24-105 de Sony, un 24-70 o 24-85 de Nikon y luego un tele, un 70-200, perfectamente válido, ¿de acuerdo? Bene, go to the next one, please.
No, espera, Dani, una preguntita.
Sí.
Sí, sobre esto. No sobre las lentes, pero sobre la foto del ciclista. En estos casos siempre tengo la duda, pero claro, si disparas en RAW y la vas a editar tú, no hay problema. Pero sobre cuánto sobreexponer esa foto del ciclista. Que está a contraluz, ¿sobreexpongo hasta que él está ligeramente un poquito oscuro o sobreexpongo hasta que él está bien?
Tiene que estar bien iluminado. Él tiene que estar bien iluminado. O sea, la iluminación del ciclista tiene que ser la más adecuada. La más adecuada dentro de las posibilidades. ¿Que el cielo se quema? El cielo se quema. ¿Que tienes un árbol al lado del ciclista que sale negro? Pues sale negro. No hay problema. Pero lo que es el ciclista tiene que estar lo más... el punto de evaluación de la luz, de medición de la luz, tiene que ser el ciclista. La exposición tiene que ser la a cero, el ciclista.
Vale,
A partir de ahí,
el cielo completamente en este caso.
a partir de ahí, si el ciclista está en sombra y le quieres dar un poquito más de luz por si acaso ayudarle y tal, mucho mejor que no que le des sombra al ciclista. Es ahí donde se refiere lo de la sobreexposición.
Sí, no lo digo. En este caso voy a
Pero en este
sobreexponer.
caso, si el cielo se tiene que ir a tomar por culo porque no da la luz o sea, porque te entra demasiada luz, pues el cielo se tiene que tomar y listo, ¿vale? Lo importante en este caso es el ciclista. En todos los casos es el corredor, es el atleta. Pero bueno, hombre, si la posibilidad, si la cámara te lo permite y las opciones de luz te lo permiten, joder, pues sacar el fondo bien, con el cielo bien, pues es un plus. Pero si no se puede, pues el ciclista tiene que estar bien iluminado.
Dani, esto me surge a mí una pregunta también a raíz de esto. ¿Usar flashes externos controlados remotamente, no en cámara?
¿Quién eres? Perdona, que no te veo.
Soy Ángel. No sé por
Ángel.
qué me ves.
Sí, no salta aquí a este. Ángel, no hay, no sé qué tipo de eventos has hecho tú hasta ahora, pero no hay flashes actualmente que nos aguanten el ritmo de disparo.
Sí, ¿verdad? Ya.
En un evento de ciclismo no lo hay. En un evento de running depende del tipo de running. Si es un trail, se podría intentar. Nosotros hacemos un tipo de carreras que son las bike race, la Andalucía Bike Race y la Cataluña Bike Race, y ahí sí que utilizamos flashes, pero porque la situación de las fotos, la composición y tal es un poquito distinta. Y nos permite, el hecho de tener solamente 500 participantes, te permite que un flash aguante. Más o menos, y no siempre, pero un evento de ciclismo de carretera como este que sale en la foto así abierta, que te pueden pasar 7.000 tíos, 8.000 tíos en un periodo de 4 horas, no hay flash que aguante eso. O sea, lo puedes montar y después de que te pasan los 200 primeros, el flash peta. O sacas, o eres capaz de sacar una con flash y 7 u 8 que sin flash. Y eso tampoco
entonces, eso tampoco es porque no mantienes la uniformidad.
Eso no mantiene ninguna uniformidad, ¿vale? Ok, Bene, go to the next one, please. Vale. Seguridad, chicos. Aquí lo de llevar una lente abierta y tal está muy bien, muy chulo, pero claro, ponen el ejemplo de que no os pongáis al otro lado del camino. El punto adecuado es este, porque al tener una lente un poquito más abierta te tienes que acercar más al atleta, y eso significa que tiene un riesgo, y ellos no miran, no están obligados a mirar, con lo cual los que sabéis de la Spartan Race, por ejemplo, sabéis que son como, aquí lo decimos en España, que son como mulas, van para adelante, no miran para ningún otro lado, con lo cual cualquier cosa que pongáis cerca o que puedan daros un golpe, lo van a poder hacer, lo va a pasar. Ya tenemos la experiencia de un compañero en China el año pasado, se lo llevó por delante una bici y le reventó la cara, le reventó la lente y no le reventó la cámara, pues de puro milagro, pero se lo llevó por delante. Entonces hay que tener cuidado. Ok, Bene, go to the next one, please. Bueno, aquí he de decir, hacer una mención que tenemos una super foto de uno de los compañeros de Bilbao, del amigo Aitor, que hizo una foto del fuego a esta chavala de la Spartan Race, que es espectacular. Esto se consigue acercándose mucho. De hecho, se quemó un poquito, le saltó una chasca y se quemó en la mano un poquillo. Pero bueno, son gajes del oficio. Lo que conseguimos con eso es, pues bueno, pues un poquito más de acción, siempre dentro de la seguridad. Y tener en cuenta que aquí nos mojamos, nos embarramos, nos ensuciamos, y si llueve, estaba mojado todo, pues nos mojamos, y si nos ponemos cerca del fuego, pues nos podemos quemar un poquito. Pero bueno, es un poco, siempre se está todo un poco calculado. Ok, Bene, go to the next one. Ok, aquí un poquito el tema de las fotos horizontal o vertical siempre genera un poquito de debate, pero generalmente por defecto siempre tiraremos en horizontal. Lo que pasa es que, por ejemplo, en el ejemplo que veis del chico corriendo con las Kuwait Towers detrás, joder, es que si, aunque no fuesen las Kuwait Towers, si es una iglesia, es una torre, es un edificio típico del lugar, es algo que merece la pena, bueno, pues la podéis hacer en vertical. Eso ya depende un poquito, si en la reunión previa con el team leader en el evento no se dice expresamente, también tiene que entrar ahí un poquito la visión fotográfica de cada uno. Y lógicamente lo que sí que intentamos es que si se empieza a tirar todo en horizontal, se haga todo en horizontal. Y si se tira en vertical, se haga todo en vertical. ¿vale? Que intentar no estar cambiando de un lado para otro. Pero depende también un poco de la situación, del punto, aunque estudiamos mucho dónde hay que ponerse, depende también un poco de lo que vea el fotógrafo, ¿vale? Ahí hay un poquito de margen. Ok, bene, go to the next one. La regla de los tercios. Yo creo que aquí todos, cuando más y cuando menos, Mateo, yo me imagino que todos allí en Sudamérica conocéis esta técnica, esta regla. No sé si tienes algún comentario de esto.
No. Confío plenamente en todos que la conocen. Casi todos acá en Sudamérica son fotógrafos profesionales. O al menos eso me dijeron al empezar. Entonces les creo.
Ya. Pues vamos a darle un poquito de prisa. Bene, we are gonna speed up this a little bit. Utilizamos siempre intentamos utilizar dentro de lo posible la regla de los tercios y siempre, pues bueno, nos recomiendan utilizar la rejilla esta de la cámara que nos lo hace un poquito más fácil. Bene, go. Vale, hay un tema con la composición que ellos nos recomiendan, que es utilizar siempre el punto de fuga en la dirección hacia donde va el atleta. No dejar espacio vacío detrás del atleta, sino delante, que es la dirección en la que va. También os digo que en la fotografía esta de la chica de los esquíes, de la nieve, joder, si detrás de ella lo que hay es una línea de esquiadores muy espectacular o se ve así al fondo con gente corriendo y tal, bueno, habría que decidir en ese momento si merece la pena también sacar eso, ¿de acuerdo? Quiero decir, que no os cojáis tampoco esto como una regla fundamental y básica de la fotografía, pero bueno, que si se puede, pues bueno, siempre está bien dejar un poquito de espacio de fuga. Ok, Bene, go.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't remember what we said.
Yeah, it just means that you have some problems. You have the spot, you don't find the bib number. You have to decide to find a different way to take the pictures.
Hay aquí un punto importante que es lo que comentan. Una vez que estamos en el sitio y los compañeros de aquí de España que habéis hecho alguna Spartan Race lo sabéis de sobra, llega un momento en el que cada uno somos autónomos y tenemos que buscar la solución, fotográficamente hablando, más adecuada posible. Sin contar con nadie, sin contar con el team leader y sin contar con la ayuda de nadie, porque pues no da tiempo, no hay posibilidad, el team leader también está a otras historias y hay que encontrar la solución. En esta foto, por ejemplo, la foto está muy bien, valdría una foto como para una foto general, pero no se ve el número del dorsal, el bit number no está visible, con lo cual, pues bueno, pues nos vale para hacer una foto. No, si detrás de este pasan 3.000 tíos, estas fotos no estarían bien, ¿vale? Ok, Bene, go. Importantísimo, no cortar los elementos principales de la foto. En la primera foto es de la Spartan Race, de las Monkey Bars, no cortarle las barras, las manos. Es lo que te indica, te informa de que está colgado el tío, ¿sabes? El que está al lado está saltando una valla, que me recuerda mucho, Robert, a la foto que hiciste tú en la última Spartan de Mallorca, la de los paneles de madera. Pero claro, si lo que está saltando es un panel de madera muy bonito en medio de la naturaleza, no se debe de cortar el panel. O el que está corriendo, no se prohibido cortar la cabeza. Las bicis, Mateo, tú ya lo sabes, las bicis, hay gente que se gasta auténticas millonadas, auténticas cantidades de dinero en bicis. No se debe de cortar la bici, a no ser que la foto sea imprescindible, pero si se puede evitar, mucho mejor. Pero vamos, lo de la cabeza, lo de las manos, es evitable, o sea que no hay problema. Bene, go to the next one.
Yes, okay.
Sí, autorrotación, siempre tenerla activada para que no lleguen las fotos al ordenador en vertical o en horizontal. Ok, Bene. Y el sensor hay que tenerlo limpio. Muchas veces llaman al soporte de Sportograf pidiendo porque los clientes no son fotógrafos, no entienden qué son esas manchas y les piden de hecho que las quiten. Entonces, pues bueno, pues la foto es espectacular, le está muy bien, pero el sensor está un poco guarrete. Hay que tener cuidado con esas cosas. Ok, Bene. Y un fallo que suele ser habitual, sobre todo en la gente nueva y tal, es empezar a disparar antes de tiempo. Aquí el corredor no se le ve, no es visible. El sitio es la leche, la capillita esa con el Cristo está muy bonito, las montañitas, todo bien, pero la foto no merece la pena. Ok, ¿viene? Esto va asociado a lo que comentaba antes con Antonio, efectivamente, si disparábamos a ráfaga o no. Ráfaga no. Ráfaga no, porque una cosa es que te pidamos en un momento dado que tienes que hacer 3, 4, 5 fotos del mismo tío o de la misma persona, y otra cosa es que dejes el dedo apretado y encima ahora con gente como compañeros como Rubén, como Antonio y tal, que tienen la Sony A9, el Alpha 9, hostias, es que eso es como una metralleta, eso dispara a reventar. Entonces, ese tipo de ráfagas no la podemos hacer, ¿vale? Porque al final las fotos son todas iguales, pero tampoco dicen nada. Ok, Bene.
No further slides, so not just questions now.
Ok. ¿Alguna pregunta?
Bueno, en la ficha a la hora de elegir cuál de los dos lentes usar, qué tipo de lente usar, se dijo también de definirlo y confiar en las propuestas del team leader, que quizás tiene una visión más amplia de todos los fotógrafos, entonces ver que no haya mucho tele, que no haya mucho angular, por ahí la sugerencia del team leader a la hora de elegir el lente puede ser medio fundamental.
Sí, efectivamente es importante que el team leader ayude un poquito a la hora de controlar quién se pone en qué puntos y con qué tipo de lentes, porque al final, bueno, pues cuando más y cuando menos se tiene una lista de quién lleva qué tipo de lentes y se tiene una idea mental de si hay muchos teles, hay muchos gran angulares y eso ayuda. Nosotros normalmente aquí en España intentamos comentarlo, hacer una reunión previo al evento para aclarar todo eso e ir moviendo las diferentes piezas. Pero lógicamente, pues sí, claro, en cada situación y en cada tipo de evento, las decisiones se tomarán un poquito en base a diferentes cosas. Nosotros, por ejemplo, tenemos eventos en unos lugares que los fondos, los paisajes son tremendamente bonitos, como la Spartan de Andorra, y bueno, pues tendemos a hacer un poquito más de paisaje, de gente con paisaje, porque es que el sitio lo merece. El sitio es muy bonito. Y luego hay otro tipo de eventos, pues que, bueno, pues que nos centramos más en el corredor, en el participante, y disparamos un poquito más con tele, encuadres más cerrados, más de retrato y listo. Al final lo que buscamos con todo esto, chicos, es que haya un producto que es el photo flat que tenga un poquito de todo dentro de las características del evento. Pero ahí ya es un poco un terreno que vamos decidiendo sobre la marcha. No, Bene, I'm just saying that normally depends on the event, on the location, and the number of photographers, and the type of landscape that where we decide if we use more wide angle photos or more telephotos, depending on if we want to show the landscape or the person, the athlete.
We need from every part. We need something. Yeah, it would be.
In the end, the target, as I said, is in order to have a photo flat. Exactly. A good quality of photo flat is to have a little bit
of everything. Yes, this was understood you. Yeah.
Exactly. Exacto. Pues eso, un photo flat lo más heterogéneo posible y lo más completo posible con un poquito de cada cosa.
Bien.
Sí.
¿Podéis disparar siempre desde la misma posición o vas a lo largo de la carrera?
Buena pregunta, Antonio. Me alegra que me hagas esa pregunta. Sí, generalmente hay una cosa que los que ya habéis hecho eventos con nosotros ocurre muchas veces y me imagino a Mateo le pasará algo parecido. Al principio llegas a primera hora de la mañana, está todo un poquito en sombra, hace fresquito y tal, y te colocas en un sitio, consideras que aquí, joder, pues el fondo así tal, el tío va a venir por aquí, no sé qué, y resulta que cuando te han pasado 15 o 20 o 40 o 50, joder, ahora me sale el sol de detrás de la montañita, me salen todos en sombra, vaya mierda, se me ha puesto una vaca ahí al fondo, o se me ha puesto un coche de organización que se ha parado ahí y me salen las fotos y tal. nosotros normalmente lo que pedimos es, oye, pues si en un momento dado ves que, sobre todo al principio, que te tienes que cambiar de sitio para que la foto sea buena, pues cámbiate, no hay problema. Lo que sí que no te recomendaría es estar un ratito aquí, un ratito allá, un ratito a este lado, un ratito acá, te adelantas 100 metros, te atrasas otros 100 metros. Eso, joder, si se puede evitar, mucho mejor. Hay en contadas situaciones que sí que se recomienda, pero contadas.
Incluso cambiáis, quiero decir, desde el punto de salida a mitad de recorrido, o eso no se hacen grandes desplazamientos.
Hay veces que normalmente, muchas veces lo que hacemos es cubrir un solo punto, un solo spot, que le llamamos los spots, pero hay otro tipo de eventos, otros tantos eventos que sí que hacemos dos puntos por lo menos. 2 o 3 a lo mejor, incluso a veces. Pero todo eso está súper calculado y súper medido. Por ejemplo, tenemos un evento que es la Mallorca 312, que la gran mayoría de nosotros nos recorremos la isla 2 veces, prácticamente. Hay que hacer fotos en un punto y corriendo como demonios, irnos a otro punto. Pero eso está súper calculado y súper medido para saber por qué carreteras están cortadas, por dónde no se puede ir, qué grupo de gente coge un coche y se va a este otro sitio y se va repartiendo del coche, va soltando gente. Eso está un poquito ya pensado. Okay, ready. Bene, we are ready. Sorry.
Thank you. Perfect. See you soon.
Thank you.
So it's the majority, more than 30 people, Spanish-speaking people, are here.
As we say, there is an expression in Spanish which says, lo bueno abunda. The good things are more common, more often.
Very good. Yeah, it was great to see you all here again. Yeah, we see in the big chat. Ruben, Javier, so many people we know.
As I say,
I heard we all had awesome questions in the Spanish, Italian, and in the English group. Thank you all for that. There are people who want to come in. Also, Gregor joins the chat from Freiburg. I just let you say hello, Gregor.
Hello, how are you?
A lot of people will know Gregor. He's the brother of Tom, and he works a long time for Sportograf and some big events in the future. So this was, I hope this was it. This was our first English big e-workshop. It was super much fun with you. I think the breakout rooms were good to get some questions. I think this is a good thing to only expand in the future, because we have a lot of topics for you for the future. We have more info about flashes, about trigger cameras, about a lot of stuff, and we hope we have a lot cool infos for you for this year. And maybe if Tom, you want to get a little insight on how to maybe you just 1 second, Tom, because I turned on your microphone.
Thank you. Oh yeah, I have to turn on my microphone. That's a good now. Thank you very much, everybody, for having joined us. It was the first workshop we ever did in a digital way. So we started with easy topics. So people working for us for a longer time may think, oh, that was really nothing new, but we will make more workshops and more specific workshops. So for you interested in more details, we try to make your quarantine as sexy as possible. Thank you very much for Daniel and Francesco to helping us out with the breakout rooms. That was a very great idea. Just to speak with Italians in the most beautiful language in the world. And of course, you spoke with the Spanish. We could communicate easily and come back to a big group. It was a very good system. Thank you also very much for so many people from Latin America joining us. And yeah, Facundo, Matteo, Alberto, Antonio, David, Manuela, and Pablo for supporting us in South America. We will have a Latin talk in half an hour. I will also join you at the beginning just to salute you and be with you for a while. We are super happy about your work. We have almost 50 photographers in Latin America now. We can't wait the season to open one day. And yeah, right now we are in a global crisis. Nobody could see that before. Of course, it also affected Sportograf. We have, thanks God, enough money to survive till the end of a year. So Sportograf will still exist. What we do now, we try to plan the second part of the season right now. And from what it looks now, it's not so bad because many races are not canceled, but they are moved to the second part of the season, which means for you guys and girls, if that will happen, it will be the most busy September, October, November, and December in our history. So keep your cameras charged, and I hope after the summer we start working again. There will be a lot of events. What we do right now with our core team, we are looking for more winter and international events in November, December, and January, just to keep Sportograf working also over the winter. So many of you will travel a lot, and yeah, I hope the best for you and for your families. And I hope this crisis I cannot wait the time when Corona is another shitty beer brand again and nothing else. So I hope it will be very soon, and we will have fun outside. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I now open all the microphones that everyone can say goodbye. I hope it's not a mix of too much dinner.
So if there are some questions left, we have time for this. So if there are some questions still.
Hola.
Sarah?
Hola, amigos, ¿alguna pregunta tenéis?
Hola, chica.
I think Sarah has a question from Kuwait.
Where is people raise the hand? Sarah.
I have inquiry regarding the event manager. I'm wondering if I can know the locations of the events so I can manage it or no.
Say again, maybe, sorry.
I have inquiry regarding the event manager. If I can know the locations of each event, which is in the in the event manager, in the calendar.
Okay, I think I know what you mean. For us, it's only practical if we can select the events. So I think you are in a little bit special place because you are in Kuwait, and in Kuwait we don't have that many events for this. But I hope we will soon start growing there too. But for the general info, it's you select the 3 dates, and then we can plan the teams because there's a lot of planning behind the events. And I know that it's a sexy solution if you can decide I want to go there, but with this solution Sportograf would not function. I know it's somewhat of a little bubble in Kuwait, but I hope to change it soon and maybe also get the team Kuwait running in maybe other countries as well.
Yeah, let's do them running in other countries. I want the Kuwaitis also to join us in Europe. That would be cool.
So thank you, Sarah, and hope you have a good time in Kuwait.
We had more hands.
Yes, we have Alexandros. Alexandros, I give you the voice.
Okay. So hi everyone in the general chat. As from the English chat, you know, it's I haven't done even the test event, so my knowledge is a bit small at the moment. But how possible is from someone as me from Norway to travel to Europe destinations for other races and stuff? Is it something that happens a lot, or?
The best way is that you have not to travel at all because we are looking at more events in Norway as well as in Sweden. So we are growing. We're looking for new photographers in Norway at the moment. And if you know more people that want to join, please bring them. And also we are looking for more people in North Germany, maybe that they can come to Scandinavia because there will be more events in the future. And of course, if we have good flights for you, maybe to a big event, or maybe you want to join a social event, we have something like a social event where you can travel a lot more, but this is also more for the more experienced photographers. Then it's also possible to travel. So if you are a busy photographer, I think it's also a good solution that you have a lot of work just outside your doorstep. But if you want to travel, we should make it possible, and we try to make it possible.
I think we can make a simple rule, and most of the Spanish and Italian photographers will agree with me. If you're a good photographer and there is a cheap or a big airport close by, don't worry, we will send you around. I mean, I look in the summer, there is an event in Oslo, and what's the theme? It's from Italy. And there is another event somewhere else, and it's all guys from Spain. I ride a bicycle race in Poland, and the two photographers are from Spain. So yes, we send people around, but I would say make some events with you so we know how your skills are, and then that will be a perfect time.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else with a question? You can raise your hand and we can answer.
Isa Ken from Sydney.
Yes, you have the voice, Isa.
I have a question. How many events we have in Asia Pacific, and especially in Australia and New Zealand, and how many photographers we have in Australia at the moment?
We will have around 13, 14 guys in Australia. Right now, well, this year we were supposed to have 2 long-distance multiple-day mountain bike events in Australia, one in New Zealand, one road bike in Australia, one ultra trail in Australia, and we are looking for more events. So it's also a region where we look forward to grow. Asia Pacific is also growing a lot. So besides some small bike races like in Bangkok or in Bali, we have a triathlon in China, a trail run in China, and 2 road bikes in China. So there will be more and more events.
Yep, thank you.
Where are you in Australia?
I'm Sydney. I talked
cool.
to you before. Yeah.
I remember.
Yes,
Cool.
yeah. Thank you.
Anyone else?
No, no questions. Come on, say something.
But I have a good feeling because we had a lot of good questions answered in the breakout rooms.
All right.
Perfect.
I'm Francisco. That you suppose to have some more workshop during this period of quarantine, like something specific, Flash or LS, or how to be a team leader, something like that?
Yes, I think we will start communicating these in the next week. So this is a good time for us to have this kind of workshops, and I think more infos on this will follow in the next week on email and Facebook and the groups.
Okay, super.
And it will be a little bit more special. So we will have a workshop for all the new people. So if you're brand new, don't worry. We have a workshop with all the basic information on how to work with us, the basic infos, and also have very specific workshops on maybe flashes or something like this. So there will be a lot to come. Ryan, I see your hand. I give you the voice.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for organizing this workshop. I really took some positive information out of it. And so, yeah, I look forward to the next one as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Where do you live, Ryan?
I used to live in Sydney, but now I've moved to Berlin. So, yeah, I'm in Berlin now.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Lots of cool clubs, eh?
Oh,
Under quarantine.
Yeah, they're all closed now. Luckily, I moved to Berlin with maybe 1 month of clubs, and then it all closed down. So I got a taste. So hopefully it opens up during the summer. So, yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Cool, everybody. We keep each other up to date, and yeah, let's hope the horror will be over very soon, and we can start working and living like normal people. Huh?
Yeah, thank you so much for your time, that you took your time in the day. Some people are on different time zones, so it was quite a commitment. So thank you so much for this. Thank you for Tom. Thank you, Tom, for joining us here. Thank you, Bene. Thank you a lot to Konstantin and Marcus and the region guys like Daniel and Francesco and Matteo, Alberto. Thank you so much. And I give you now all the mics free. So if you want to say goodbye, you can do it, and then we can.
Barbara macht uns das Mikro an.
So, okay.
Chaos minute.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Nice to meet everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao. Thank you very much.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Tschüss. Schönen Abend.
Schönen Abend.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Prove yourself.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. Thank you.
Anche Romulo.
Bye, bye.
Hi, thank you.
Alberto pure.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you very much. Bye bye. Good evening.
Ciao.
Ciao ciao.
Bye.
Tutti ragazzi.
Ciao, chica.